Hi everybody, thank you for watching this video. This is when I went to the Eisenbahn Trail 2022. Basically, I just walked on the snow. I take a lot of trails around the area where I live. Sometimes I go walking miles. I've walked miles. I've walked to West Bend from my home in Slinger to West Bend and even to Hartford. I do a lot of walking as it is. In the winter time, sometimes I do it because it helps my stamina, it helps me get better in strength. And walking is good for you. When you walk the distance, you can get your air, you can get nature, you can get oxygen, you get your lungs filled with good air, and because we're breathing, we have water in us. We have our bodies are 80%, 90% or 80% water and 20% calcium and all the other stuff. But yeah, this is one of those things that I just like doing the most. And I walked with my dog a lot. My dog passed away, rest in peace, Kyra. Yeah, and I had two fish that were gold, and I had one fish that was kind of white. They were both goldfish, but one of them was white, and that one was called Coconut. And I had him for 7 days, and he died. And then I had my other two fish, and it was ironic because they died in February. And I'm just walking in this trail because I'm just thinking about the things that I did over those trails and just picking berries and whatnot. And those things were great, seeing people and seeing all the leaves and just the nature. That's what people do in Wisconsin. We like walking. We like doing things that we like wearing coats and jackets and hats. People who are more warm or more interested in the warmer climate, you know, they might not get that up here, but you can definitely, we do get that. We do get summer sometimes, but and they're just as beautiful, but it's way too muggy and hot when the summer's out. We enjoy the water weather because we're more up north, and when you get the sun, it becomes really hot and muggy. It's probably hotter up here than it is in other places because we're closer to the sun, being up here, and that there's more people and everything. So yeah, this is where I was walking in 2022. And just over the years I've been doing that ever since the new decade, since the pandemic did a lot on us, but I was able to get a lot in. I was able to walk. I was able to say goodbye to my grandparents. I was able to do my piano music. I was able to, which you'll hear in the background of this video in a little bit. And yeah, and just that, and oh, it's going on right now. And that, just the fact that I was able to do all this walking, and it was just fun. I was able to enjoy myself. I was able to look at leaves. I was able to, look at fall leaves, wear my jacket, and just have a good time. And just, even though things were, weird and everything, I was able to go on the Ice Age Trail. I was able to read maps and stuff. I was able to, see things the way, how things are natural to our environment. It's just one of those things that I was always grateful for, to just walk and just be in nature. Everybody has to be in nature. You have to walk to survive this life. Even if you don't want to see the mountains and stuff, you don't want to be in jungles and whatnot. You don't want to be in the worst places to walk. But if you're brave, then more power to you. I wouldn't be doing those things all the time. When I went to Nicaragua, which I'll show you a photo of when I was folding clothes with girls, I had a lot that I was dealing with at that time, like being that my grandmother passed away the previous year before I went to that school in WA, and the fact that I made so many friends, it was just overwhelming. I was working in the cafeteria, I was trying to keep my grades up. Other than that, I moved on with my life. I started going to libraries, I started going on other trails, I started, you know, in near the lakefront in Michigan. I went to see other places with my family, cafeterias, and we went. I still walked on Eisenbahn Trail even after my dog died. Or I went, in the summertime, I saw Black History stuff for Black History Month, because we celebrate our history. We were glad to be free. I went and sat on and at benches and trails. I was taking care of my fish. I was, cleaning their tank. I was just doing stuff at home. I was walking to Hartford, cleaning up trash and stuff, painting projects and whatnot, doing puzzles and, just taking care of it. That's one of my favorite puzzles that I completed. I was so glad to start it and finish it. I was even glad to get a picture of of one of my drawings on shirt, but I gave it to St. Vincent de Paul. And then I was able to look at more nature and hang out with my parents more often in Niagara Falls. I was able to do so much and let them watch them. I suggested things. We saw stuff at Liberty Island. We saw things that were interesting to keep for as information to share with others. Liberty Island was a beautiful place. People had a good time. I was able to go on towers and go up and down an elevator, and for a trip. It was just fun. To see things, and I was able to see Michigan, and see Pennsylvania and Canada and New Jersey. And I know that's where one of my favorite YouTubers is from. She's quite an influencer, and just seeing Niagara Falls and being there with my parents and just seeing all the people and the birds, the nature, and just the fact that it was fun. So yeah, and I'm glad that I went and did all these things that those 3 years from 2022 to 2024, 22, 23, 24. It was great to be around the water, and I had a dream about this waterfall and had the rushing water and everything. And before I actually went there, so it was quite interesting. It was like, God told me that everything's gonna be all right. And then another dream I had where, I might be going another journey. I might be traveling someplace else, another country. I might be seeing a big mountain or something. I don't know, but I just enjoy the fact that I'm not crazy or anything. These times are crazy. Even if these times are crazy, don't let the times catch up with you, make your life crazy. And you want to enjoy yourself and all that. And so yeah, and I was able to see my parents do Niagara Fall. They enjoyed their retirement. They're having a good time. Even if me and my parents, we fall out, we and arguing about stupid stuff, it means nothing, because family is more important than anything. And just having a good time and just being yourself, and you become the bigger person. You realize where you err, and where your strengths are and your weaknesses are, and family is more important. And I just want to let Matthew and all my guy friends, especially Matthew, that I love them, and my whole family, they're special to me. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe.